Okay, I got some words. I haven't written down like genuinely like my thoughts in so long. I didn't realize how good it felt. I think I'm probably gonna start doing that shit more often. What if I got my life together? It's crazy. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens when I'm actually living independently. I think Japanese is gonna be like a reflection kind of thing, reflective kind of thoughts. On whatever's on my mind. I know like have various levels of cohesion and like themes based on. Maybe I just like group them into thoughts, or maybe it's just like literally like journal entries type stuff. I just wrote some stuff down. And yeah, I've not written in a long time, but I just kind of ended up doing that shit. But I think that's good though. It felt very good. I think I should continue to do this. This might be the gateway to me reading, which I know I need to do. But I've kind of been like. Anyway, I think also this like is helping me to understand, like writing this stuff, and it's helping me understand like the psychology of it all. But yeah, let me actually get into it. First of all, this is kind of like an aside. Poor people can't take risks because they don't have enough money to deal with the consequences. This is kind of just like the way I think like society, or like what's it called, limbic capitalism, where like everything is designed to be easier for your benefit, but like it really just inhibits your like agency and your ability to like make a decision or take risks. And taking risks is the only way how you can to actually succeed, and it doesn't necessarily mean succeed with like financial incentive just to like experience success. You only experience joy, like pure joy, through like delayed gratification, which requires you to put in the work and like to take a leap of faith. But if everything is like, if the only things you can afford to do have to be convenient and accessible, then you have no ability to like take that risk, because there's no safety net for you, especially if you're like in like an underprivileged situation. But the primary focus of this kind of yap, or written down yap, scripted yap, is a living deliberately. Yeah, I think I want to move out of like this. Like I feel like a lot of people, especially young people, not even young people, just people in general. I know my mom experiences this as well. Like in this kind of like, in the world we live in, it feels like a lot of things are just like the soul has been taken out of a lot of things that like we used to be like really fun. Like it feels like YouTube doesn't really have a soul anymore. Like there are actually like there's like a kind of like a renaissance or resurgence in like what feels like genuinely human creators, which I think is like a response to like that soulless feeling. Could also be like recession type shit. But yeah, I think I'm trying to move towards living deliberately. I'm like making decisions with intention, and always actively thinking about like what, like be essentially like forcing myself to be present by taking out the convenience in life. Because I'm realizing like there's like an art to inconvenience, and like there's a danger to convenience, and everything being safe and easy to do. And so like I think moving towards like single purpose products, or items or tools, like using an MP3 player. Like I just canceled my Spotify subscription. That's probably what this title's gonna be. Nah, I think it'll be a different video. Anyway, like I canceled my Spotify premium subscription because unironically I was not getting like my money's worth. I'm gonna speak more about it like soon, but like I think having an MP3 player or like a CD player or a cassette player like forces you to like think about the music and place more importance and value on it. I'll just read this shit and then I'll talk after, I suppose. Single purpose products increase the level of importance you put on each thing individually than the amount you would have valued it when it was accessible from your phone. Like literally, you can do anything on your phone. Your phone is literally like, it's like a universe inside your pocket, which is why it's like it probably feels like That's why I think we feel so inseparable from it, because it is so convenient. Like, we can do anything on it. We can like talk to anyone in the world technically on paper through this like this piece of metal in our pockets. Um, but like think about like how much more fun it is to take a picture with a camera, whether it's a film camera, whether it's a digital camera. Like um, how much more care you take to like take a photo with a camera as opposed to like your iPhone. There's like a very select few people who respect the like the brilliance that it is that we can take photographs. Like the fact it's so easy to take a photograph on an iPhone means that no one really cared. For the most part, most people don't really care about like the art of taking like a photo. So they'll just take a like kind of shitty photo. There's like a few people who are taking incredible pictures on their iPhones. I forgot this guy's name, but he's like an African artist, photographer. Incredible pictures, but it's because he understands the intrinsic value of what a photograph could be, and he gives it the respect. Sorry, that's the one I'm looking for. The respect that like the art form deserves, and the respect that we should be placing so much respect on our phones, but we're like we feel tethered to them because like they do everything for us, but like we don't like respect each individual I guess service or like tool that it provides us. But yeah, I guess like having an MP3 player, having a vinyl record player, anything like that, like forces you to give the like the medium the respect it deserves, because all these things deserve respect, because like someone's taken hours, probably done their 10,000 hours to like reach that level of like, and done all the failing and all the process to reach that point where like you have this thing now which you can appreciate and have your own relationship with. Switching to an MP3 player means I have to make choices about what I'm going to listen to, and forces me to commit to them. Whereas streaming, similarly to Netflix, people seem to like be more comfortable with like calling out Netflix, I guess, because like they like are really, they don't like shy away at all from like the fact they're like very much like a money driven company. Like everyone knows that like the majority of what's on Netflix is like stuff you're never ever gonna watch, because it's not even, it's like just not good. It's just straight up like slop. But it's there, and the fact it's there is probably what like is the trap, because it means it's like, but there's technically, like on paper, like hearing that there's a million shows, literally 1,000,000 shows on this website, gives you the feeling that the value you're getting from your subscription is like so incredible, when in actuality you're gonna just rewatch the same show you watched last year and the year before. Like how many people do you know that like literally will not stop watching the same show over and over again because like they get that dopamine rush and they have like it's their comfort show, you know? Despite the fact they're paying for a subscription, when like you could have just bought the show on DVD and probably got the same value by the time you reach like your third viewing, and you would have owned it as well physically. I'm gonna get into that later. So yeah, it forces me to make a choice about what I'm going to listen to. It forces me to commit to it. Whereas streaming, like in the streaming era, this applies to music, to film, to like honestly anything. Similarly to Netflix, makes you paralyzed by choice, especially with like this algorithmic system. We've moved towards, where like literally everything is an algorithm, which is designed for like the most tailored content, which gives you the illusion of discovery as well, which is the kind of the scariest, like, it's not scary, but it's also kind of like a psychological thing, like a psychological illusion, where it gives you the illusion of discovery, but it's only recommending you stuff it knows for a fact you're going to be comfortable with. So it's either like 1% out of your comfort zone, or it's just under your comfort zone, but just the only reason you think it's not is because you don't know of it already. And that's like the part of AI like pre ChatGPT or whatever the fuck you want to call it, where like it was just analyzing the literal physical contents of like what was in a song or what was in a movie, or like scanning the script to see like the kind of plot threads that like you would be attracted to, and that's why it's like 98% match, 97% match, and you're like, no way. You watch the thing and you're like, wow, surprise, surprise, it actually did indeed match with my tastes. But like, why do you think that is? You know, and it probably was at some point like a human-based system, but it just switched to robots because that's easier. It's just easier, and like they are more efficient than humans. Humans make mistakes all the time, but like, think of how much more, like, you as a person recommending your friend something, you go out of like being the person who put them on, and then they, and like the response you get from like them being like, bro, thank you for putting me on, or like the risk of like them not liking it, but like that like being so exhilarating at the same time. Whereas now everything's just like tailor made. It's like, you're gonna love this shit. Guess what I have for you, buddy? Like this like kind of Discover Weekly, I feel like is just like, I don't even want to get into like the giving like AI stuff, as in like it's just like literally just sending people AI music that is like similar to what they listen to. But like, yeah. Anyway, who, yeah. So it's like already only recommending artists who are already in your comfort zone. Applies to all mediums of art as well. And don't get me wrong, comfort is still important because like that's how we have like a sense of like belonging and home and homeliness. But it shouldn't have to be the only logical solution. It shouldn't have to be like, you shouldn't have to feel like it's necessary to revert to comfort out of safety. Where it shouldn't be the only logical solution to not knowing what to listen to now, where the second you feel bored or the second like you're missing something, which is a very important emotion to allow yourself to feel, you just resort back to what you know for a fact is safe, and then the dopamine hits, despite the fact that you know for a fact you're gonna feel slightly off because like you've basically essentially given up. And this is like why I think a lot of people right now feel like this kind of like overwhelming but like really subtle sense of like emptiness or like hollowness. I think that's what we're all feeling it, because like every time like you look at your phone, you have the urge, you don't, like you go on Instagram just because there's the chance that you might find something cool, or like you'll scroll just for like because you might see a cool video. But like that's like, and we know this as well. The worst part is we're kind of self-aware, but we might not be able to like actually articulate or like put our finger on it. Yeah. But it's like allowing yourself to feel boredom is like such an important, I think, part of life that people aren't realizing is being destroyed right now. Like dopamine is the drug that everyone's talking about, and like you don't even realize it. Like people are, nah, nicotine. It's always been nicotine, but it's actually, I'm only realizing this now. Like no, dopamine is actually like the thing that like companies are like preying on, because it's like moved from like something they can sell us, which is nicotine, into something that they can attach themselves to in our brains. Whoa, that's crazy. I didn't write that down. Yo, because if like, yeah, because that's literally like the reward. That's how you feel happiness in your life. If like Meta or like TikTok or whatever can attach their app to your sense of happiness in life, then of course you're gonna be on the app 20. Of course, you're gonna spend 5 hours looking for happiness on the app. Same with Tinder. Wow, yo, same with Tinder. That's crazy, bruh. That's really wild. So yeah, the dangers of comfortability that a lot of apps designed for convenience offer is kind of scary in the way that it has a very dangerous or risky potential to inhibit growth and new experiences, despite making you feel like you are, which is kind of what I was talking about with the For You page, which is on paper designed for discovery. And the thing is, like, it is objectively the perfect machine for discovery, because like the algorithm is going to, it's gonna push out the best content. It's gonna push out the best content for you. That's why it's called the fucking For You page. But it knows you're gonna like it. That's the only reason it's sent into is it knows you're gonna like it, because people who have the same behaviors as you have proven to already like it. Like the risks that it takes very few risks. Like it's like it just does it by mass, and like the reason it works so well is because you're spending 2 seconds. You're spending less than 2 seconds. You're like, when I see my friend Mark, I like often like I'm not gonna pretend like I don't scroll, like when I'm on like Instagram and Reels, I like try to be conscious about the fact that like I'm actually like watching a video in full, unless it's like some straight up bullshit. But when I see like other people scroll, it's like kind of like alarming the way they'll just go like just like genuinely like waiting for something to just instantly like, today I'm blowing up a car for 1,000. But it's like it knows you're doing that, and that's how it's like being able to like make as much money and profit as possible, whilst also knowing it's gonna like drip feed you the videos it knows you're gonna like, but also like give you like it's gonna put the obstacle in your way deliberately. That's the way it's designed. That's crazy, bro. Sorry. And so it's like, why are you paying for a subscription to the entire internet's library of music when all you're gonna do is listen to the same few albums again and again? Like, you'd be better off just buying the albums, and it would genuinely probably save you money over time, whilst allowing you to appreciate the art more, since your relationship to it is strengthened by the investment you made in the art. So generally, saving money depends on like how you listen to music or how much you're willing to spend, because like vinyl prices are really up these days. CD I think is like is stabilized, but there's also, I think, like there's this obsession with new music, which doesn't have to be new. Like, new music can be from like 1987, and it can be like this niche artist you've never heard of who's dead. That could be new music. And it'll be like, it'll literally be dirt cheap. It'll be like 15p in a charity shop, but people feel like new music, quote unquote, has to be this like fresh thing that's like just been created. But at the same time, there are also like people who are like very stubborn and will only listen to like old music. But it's like, if you're gonna only do that, I respect that, sure, because they literally do not make music like they used to anymore. However, you would get so much more out of probably just buying the physical media instead of like listening to it on streaming. And like, people will be like, oh, it's so much more convenient. If you're listening to the same album, if you're listening to like Dark Side of the Moon for your 100th time and you know every song back to back, you would, like, having an MP3 player or a CD player to do the same thing would literally like only increase the level of like love you have for the album, because you have it there, like it belongs to you in this like disc. That's like what I think is so like wonderful. Like, a lot of people kind of buy vinyls just because like it's cool to have a vinyl, but I think like the appeal, the allure of it, like the sexiness, the romanticism of it is the fact that you have something physically that belongs to you. And like we don't realize we're like very gradually and slowly to the point where like we're not noticing it just being like having ownership taken away from us, but like being presented to us as like a solution, as like a genuine convenience, or like something that's making our lives better. So yeah, convenience inhibits decision making and your agency by making everything easy. So there's actually an illusion of choice as well as a paralysis of choice. So like, it's like making you think you're like, if you go on like Spotify and you go like on your homepage and it's like presenting you for like albums you like, it says like new releases or something like that. How many of those are artists you already know, or already like, or artists who have featured on like every single album of an artist you already listen to, or like signed to the same label, or just there to make you think about it and then to just make the safe decision. I think this is like that's like the thing like that like they're so good at. That's like what is so like on your YouTube homepage, how often are you actually like clicking on a new like video, you know? And like people really want to discover new stuff. Like, I think on YouTube it's better because like it's more often that you'll actually find like a new creator, but I feel like that happens more in like the recommended tile on the aisle on the side, as opposed to like just seeing it on the homepage. Like on your phone, it's almost impossible to like discover a new creator like from a long form video and not a short. because of the just the way that like it's formatted. There's no like big homepage with like the grid of boxes. It's shorts first, which is like a terrible thing because like the thumbnail is like, and then you just start scrolling, and then it's like a bunch of videos, but you have to really put in the effort because it's like you're scrolling through thumbnails. And so yeah, it's an illusion of choice in addition to a paralysis of it because they know psychologically you're more inclined to re-listen to something you already heard or to listen to something based on like what you already heard, like a new album from someone you already listened to, or listen to something they've been paid to market to you. And that goes both ways. Sometimes I feel like they'll like market something to you knowing you're not going to listen to it, but like they don't care because they're making the money off of like the payola, off of the advertising, which is crazy. And that doesn't even scratch the discourse of ownership, where a CD or physical media, even a digital download, becomes yours in perpetuity, while streaming only allows you to access the song once you've gone through a paywall or watched ads, which is kind of like it's like a paywall of time. It's just a paywall of time. People are like convinced that like ads, it's free with ads. It's not free. It's just not free, is it? Because like that's like the obstacle to reaching the thing. And I understand like ads are so important as like a backbone of the economy. That's like how it pays for a lot of things. Like a lot of creators on YouTube only are there because of the ads. However, at the same time, the people who are making the real money are making it from like direct to consumer or direct to a fan like purchases, because it takes out the middleman, which is like AdSense, which is just like a way for Google to make like fucking billions more on top of the money they're already making off of YouTube, which is fucking crazy. Yeah, this is a crazy app. But now those are the words I have today. I think I'm enjoying writing my thoughts. I think I'm feeling way more present than I was before. Because I often think like such a macro way, like long term. I think like, which is good by the way. I think it's what was it? There's something about like your relationship with addiction changes how far ahead in the future you think. And so like if you like kind of like imagine like when you're scrolling, the only thing you're thinking about is like when the next video is gonna like be interesting, and like you really want in your back of your mind you're like, I really should be getting off this app, but just before I go, what I'm gonna do is watch a cool video. That's out of your control, but you're giving yourself the sense of control of you think the control is in your swipe when the control is in the algorithm. But it's just like taking back that control and just being like more self-sufficient, but also like I was talking about being present, like making decisions, being active about the fact that I'm making a decision, and it's not just like because I feel like I have to, or because like and I also understand that I'm in a privileged position to be able to do that. I'm not like rich by any means. I'm like live in a working class home, and like I'm like running out of money as well. So why not? Student loan comes in, it's gonna be fire. I'm gonna be in a position where hopefully my student loan can cover all my living costs, which means I don't have to feel the necessity to work out like outrageous hours just to like live, which is a very privileged position to be in. Like I'm already privileged to be in Scotland, where like university is free, transport is free for under 22s. So that's like it takes a lot of luck and privilege in like your position, and I'm like a man and I'm straight and all this shit, to be able to like afford to like not even to, no, I don't want to say self-aware, but to be able to be afford to like act on a lot of this stuff. I think that might be why a lot of like, even if like men's self-help is like flawed, the majority of like self-help creators are white straight males, because they probably have the most privilege available, and that's like an objective truth. To be able to like have the freedom to do all the experimentation and then reach the like conclusion of like what is probably like really good advice, and like over like a lot of failure, but having the ability to fail, like reaching a genuine like fucking great solution. But it probably seems like they're like super fucking wise because no one else has been given that privilege. Like how many like black queer working class people are gonna be able to like take time off work to like explore the world and like experience the joys of Asia or something like that. I don't know. Like to like experience a different way of living to like the one they're living in now, which is the only way they're able to like make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? This is a completely different conversation. Maybe that's what Japanese is. It's just like I write some shit down and then I go off it. I've seen this format before. There's people like DJ Boy Band, who I'm seeing on YouTube, who's like bringing like a different style to a different level of. It's just I think people we're just like really craving human connection, but like we know we can only get that through a longer form of content. It can't just be like through like a 50-second highly edited captioned reel. And like it wasn't until I saw, I think I was like stalking Tyler the Creator's burner, like his scumfuck flower boy account, that like, and he did like a repost on something about captions, how they're like actually like, you would think it's just an accessibility thing, but the fact that people are burning them in, if you like need captions to like to read something or to like understand something, you're gonna have them like turned on automatically always. But if you're like burning them in, like you remove the ability for someone to pay attention and actually listen to what you're saying. Even if like I'm super like fucking kind of hard to understand sometimes, but like if someone's paying attention, they kind of understand what I'm saying. It just I'm like I repeat myself often just to like try and like not to ram my point home, but to like improve the kind of like legibility of what I'm trying to get across. But burning captions in removes the agency, I think. Yeah, that's why I don't like the idea of like a lyric video is something different entirely, because that's like an art form in itself, and it's the lyrics are there for a utility of you understanding like the art of writing. But if you're putting a lyric, I think I'm no longer gonna put lyrics into like my like normal music videos. I did that for a few of my like a couple releases last year. Fuck, I got it. Hey, if you were kicking my ass, bro. But I think it doesn't allow people to experience it for what it is, which is a music video, which is the music in a video. But it adds this component of music video, but also the lyrics are there. So now you can also know what's happening in the same, like it doesn't allow you to just experience it for what it is. And it's like, yeah, this like easiness that like we've been fed, or like being, which is like on paper the best. I don't think it's even the best. It just seems like it is. It seems like it should be. Like we've kind of convinced ourselves that like making life easier is the solution. I don't think it is the solution. I think it's allowing life to be more free. I think freedom is really the thing that we should be chasing, but we're not, because it doesn't make as much money if everyone's like experimenting constantly and like discovering new things. Like people will discover a new thing and then figure out a way to like make you need it and put it behind a paywall, which is just, it's a cruel world, it's a fucked up world. That's just like the way capitalism works, I suppose. But just that being self-aware, and then I guess, but at the same time, like this video, like if you spent all your time watching this video, then like you probably could have been doing something else. And that's not to say like that's not your fault. I think long form content is much more valuable than short form content. In a way, I'm not saying, I'm not like trying to discredit short form creators, because like they also put a lot of effort into what they're doing, because it is a job for a lot of people. It's like the way of living for a lot of people. But like people like DJ Boy Band, or like anyone who's like doing this like new kind of wave of stuff, is putting their stuff on platforms that they know other people are still like a slave to in a way, like psychologically are unable to like get off of. So like I've never ever like had a video like pop up or anything, but like if like this hypothetically did well and I like start making money off of it, I would be essentially profiting off of like this dopamine addiction that you have. But like that's essentially the only way we can make it work. That's the only way it works in this like kind of like new digital era, like the post TikTok era. It's like post everything being convenient. It's like algorithmic era. I think algorithmic is probably like the best way to describe it because it's tailor made. Like it knows for a fact you're gonna enjoy the content. But like stuff like this is a gamble. Like a long ass like bordering on podcast is not quite a podcast because I think I'm just well, I don't know. I don't really honestly. Podcast is a whole ass different fucking topic of its own. Like people are offering like real value. But what I'm trying to do with like CV, I suppose, is like it's not even about meaning. It's more just like I think maybe respect is the word I'm looking for, or love, or like trust. Like I love the idea of that Trust restaurant that opened in I think in Glasgow actually. I should definitely check it out. But like it like people like really underestimate the power of like the human condition and like the human emotion. Like we are social humans and we know we're social humans and like all these things are engineered to prey on like our on like the things that we have evolutionarily been designed to like gravitate towards, which is like this sense of belongingness. But it doesn't it just scratches the itch enough to make you feel like you're experiencing it, but you don't actually get that sense of connection which you'd get from like a real life. How many times have you had just a conversation, maybe with a stranger, but you feel like a fucking $1,000,000 after it? It could have just been like, yo, how's your day? Or someone says like, you have cool shoes, or you like talk to someone about like a camera. But there's so much more value in that than like even like scrolling on Tinder and seeing someone who's like hot, and you're like, oh wow, this entire life has been distilled into like 15 photos, or like someone curating like this perfect image of themselves, and you're like, oh, they're really hot. I'm gonna swipe right. Like, what was that connection? There's no connection there. But it's like, I think it's like the effort as well is the thing that people are like, we're kind of starting to see like a value being placed on effort again, which is good. We're kind of shifting towards that with like music. I think it might be like a subconscious response to AI slash the recession. I don't even want like, obviously there's a hella political shit in the world. Obviously there's always political shit. That's what the world is. There's a lot of like pain and suffering always happening constantly. But like specifically with the arts, which is like where all my interest lies. Not all my interest actually. I say arts just because like that's my primary way of expressing myself. I want to be a storyteller, but like, storytelling doesn't have to be fictional. It can be like journalism is a form of storytelling for sure, absolutely, 100%. Same with like art criticism, or like music criticism is a form of storytelling. I think I'm realizing, but it's just like placing the respect on like someone's time. I did like last night I did like a bunch of writing on AI, which like being able to write it out kind of like made me understand my thoughts on it more, in a way I'm very happy with. I'll probably like record that later. But it's this fact that like we're taking out all the effort from things, which just reduces like the value, because like if someone knows you could have potentially done this in like 15 minutes, like the automation of like all these processes is like making the barrier for entry so low that like your intentions could be like, I don't know, it's just dangerous, because like there's no the reason you really love something is because you've had the time of being bad at it. But like because you know like you have that end goal of like how good it could be when you like master the skill or something, because you know that's there, like it's like a belief. It's literally belief. It's like faith. You have faith in yourself. Faith in yourself is like such a big thing, bro. Like how many, like when I've been making shit music for so long, Like, I think my music has been good for a while now, but like when I was making what I knew was like bun shit, it just wasn't working. I had to have faith and trust in myself that it would eventually in time work. There was no guarantee. I could have been making shit music for 15 years and it only clicked once in like 8 years. But like, it's this belief in ourselves, which I think is like the human condition type shit. You know, that's why like belief is so strong. That's why faith is such a powerful thing. Like religion, regardless of like your belief, is a powerful thing because it's essentially our coping mechanism to life. Um, yeah, but then all this like automation shit slash AI shit is just it's not even barrier to entry. It's not removing the barrier to entry because those exist because of like the way the system works, which is to put everything behind a paywall. What it's actually doing is taking out all the obstacles that would have taught you a lesson along the way, and it's just making things easy to the point where like on certain levels like the easiness is like a pure utilitarian thing where like it does actually save you time and it's probably for the greater good, even though it will, regardless of the fact, be at the expense of probably what was someone's job. At some point it crosses the threshold into just taking the fun out of life, because the fun comes out of the failure and the experimentation and like the not knowing. The not knowing is like what life is, like the unknowable, the mystery of it. That's kind of what I talked about in the AI shit that I'm gonna probably make a video on at some point. But yeah, it's cool, I suppose. Have a good day. Love yourself. I think I truly, like I was always like kind of up in the air. I know for a fact I love myself like so much. I love everyone in my life as well. Surround yourself only with people who you know for, like if you have a bad feeling about someone, probably not right for you, you know. I love all my friends like wholeheartedly, like they're like incredible people. Brother right there, I love him to death. And it's like uncomfortable as well to like not like something, as in like it's uncomfortable to cut someone off. It's uncomfortable to like even just be like in a bad place with your friendship, and so people like think the easiest thing to do is to cut someone off, as is to like not experience that, which is like in some instances to like stop talking to a friend because it's uncomfortable to like work something out. But that uncomfortableness is like the only way you can get through to like the joy of it after. That's why like people like talk about like love being work. It's because it is. Like you can't just can't all be sunshine and rainbows. Like you need to experience all this uncomfortability to like this thing of delayed gratification is very like not really talked about. I don't think that's like that's what like the gym is. Like you're putting the work in, hours in for what you know is a guarantee. Like you know for a fact if you do this, like most likely something, there's gonna be a payoff at the end. But it's like the uncertainty of like doing the hard work in the now that is like so kind of daunting to everyone, because it's you can have there's so many things, like so many flashy things in our life that are designed to just appeal to us instantly and give us that instant gratification. My homeboy Ash, online homeboy Ash was talking about this with like music. Like people are like making music that they know is gonna work now because it's like the popping sound. So like the fact that someone at some point had to experiment to reach that sound for people to now like it, but then they're just hop on the trends. This applies to all mediums, but he's talking about music. I'm realizing that like there's no sustainability in doing that unless you just trend hop to everything, because it's the people who take the time now to really find a sound and to do all the hard work and to do the research and to do the experimentation. Like Ash has been like working on his sound for years, and it probably won't take. It'll probably take more years for him to like find success of like a certain degree. Same with me. Like I have like 48-month listeners. I've been making music for like 5 years. I know for a fact my music's about to pop the fuck off just because I put in the fucking work to make it, like, to have this like layer of freshness and originality, but also like reach the point of experimentation where it's now marketable, but also like I suppose like market ready, if you will. I don't like even saying the word market ready because it just boils people down to numbers and like a way to make money. But like there is a world, I think, where like people are like people are able to live like very nicely off of art, but also like the consumer can live nicely off of like there's I mean it's a perfect world. That's a perfect. I mean it's fine. That's like blue sky thinking. That's my delusional. I suppose my delusional optimism speaking, but like still, it doesn't have to be delusional. Like we could definitely lock in and just create this like utopia. But I'm gonna get into that later because like a utopia doesn't mean a world without suffering. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Suffering is like intrinsic to the human experience. That's what makes everything what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Just trust yourself. Like I'm always like that doubt is like everyone knows what the human condition is because we're all living a different version of the same life. It's not the same version of a different life. It's a different version of this. We all have been placed on this earth, been birthed through a woman's uterus. I'm not sure. We've been birthed onto this place, put on as a human baby. We've had no control for a certain amount of time because we were a baby, needed to rely on our parents. And then at some point we crossed a threshold to probably, in some capacity, having to like be forced to like make decisions on our own. Some people are forced to become adults way too early, which is like where a lot of the trauma in like the world comes from things happening too fast or without any preparation. That's where like a lot of the suffering and trauma in like parts of the world is happening. I don't want to get into it yet. You know what well, you know what I was about to say. But like we are all living a version of the same life. It's just the knock-on effects and domino effects of like the past, but also what the decisions people are making because they think they know better than someone else. When we're all the same fucking human being living a different life, just in a different skin, in a different shell, different shell, different shell. We're all a soul. We're all soul. Soul. We're not a soul. We're soul on this earth, like to live it. But like, we have this idea that like of this objective better, which doesn't really exist, you know. But I mean, I've been talking for a while. It's been cool though. I feel good. I suppose I'm trying to like just live a more holistic life. I suppose. And, like it's fine to have like the intention and also know it's gonna take a while. As I know it's not. I'm not gonna be like a perfect fucking journaler. I don't think so. I'm like trying to like lock in with my diet. I'm definitely gonna have a few lapses, you know. And the fact I have a good metabolism doesn't help that because I'm convinced. I was convinced for a while that like I'm just never gonna gain weight. I know that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'm like trying to just live deliberately. That's my personal kind of direction I'm moving in. So take from that what you will. Love and guidance. Have a good day, or don't have a good day. Just have the day. Experience it. Be present. Feel the emotions you're feeling and allow them to go through you and for you to go through them. Because like life is going through you. It's not happening to you. It's going through you. Passes through you. Passes through us. It's like an energy. Life is like exponential. It's 4D. You know. It's like happening all around us. We don't realize it. You know. Everyone's a main character in their own story. We all have like these intersecting pathways. It's like the biggest like mindfuck of a film of all time. You know. Everyone's like living their own first person movie. But like, it's cool. Thank you. If you listened to like, oh wow, 44 minutes. That's crazy. That's crazy. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. I guess I don't know. Cool. Adios.